Perfect. A very good morning to everyone. Hope everyone is well. My name is Chris, and I'm one of the Shortcuts training specialists here. So this morning, obviously on the lead up to Christmas, it's not too far away now. We're going to be going through some steps to ensure your salon or your business is sort of ready for Christmas. Now, some of you may have already put some of these provisions and some of these steps in place, but if not, I'm going to run through some things that we should be looking at on the lead up to Christmas. So, first things first, the duration of this webinar, it's going to be approximately 60 minutes. It may be a little bit less. I will always try and keep it to that 60-minute, just in case you've got a client at 11 o'clock. My microphone is switched on, whereas everyone else has automatically been muted. And of course, your speakers must be turned on to hear this webinar. So if you just want to take a few seconds now just to get your speakers turned up loud or put a headset in or anything you need to do just to make it that little bit more comfortable. Questions will be taken either via the Q&A or the chat box. But you know what I always say, if you want to unmute yourself, chat with me, or you can pop it in the chat box if you wish to. Now, the majority of our masterclasses, if you've joined me before, we usually have a PowerPoint presentation fused with a live demonstration. This morning is all going to be a live demonstration. I'm going to pack in as much as possible. I appreciate and I hope you're all pretty much back-to-back busy. So for the next sort of 45 to 60 minutes, I'm going to try and cram in as much as humanly possible. Now, please don't worry. All of our masterclasses moving forward will be recorded. So if you have to dip out or drop out or anything like that, just drop us an email at the end. More than happy to send you a recording in the next couple of days. So what are we going to be going through for this morning? So we're going to be looking at how to configure your stock and ensuring your stock levels are correct, especially if you want to get that last minute ordering through Shortcuts. We'll be showing you how to do that. We're also going to be looking at how to bundle your products to create tailor-made gift sets. Now I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about this later, but for those of you that are creating your own hampers or your own gift set, this is a fantastic way to bundle those products together to ensure your stock levels are absolutely accurate. We're also going to be looking at adjusting your business hours and schedules to cater for the holiday rush. Now, the majority of you may have already done this, but at the same time, I'm going to show you a top tip of how to sort of copy and paste your schedule if you're wanting to get 2024 wrapped up as well for the schedules. The benefits of electronic gift cards and why they are a must. So it's perfect for those last minute shoppers. We're also going to be having a quick look at how to set up upfront payments to help eliminate no-shows. We won't go too much into the upfront payment side of things. We did have a dedicated session on that last week. If you want the recording for that, please let us know. I'm also going to be going through lots of other things. Like I said, in the next 60 minutes, we are going to jam pack in as much as humanly possible. So if you do want to chat further, please feel free to drop us an email at education@shortcuts.co.uk. Or if you want to speak to me, you can do so on 0161 972 4900. And it's option 1 for an existing customer and then option 4 for the education team. Do always stay tuned on our socials, so Instagram.com and Facebook.com, Shortcuts UK. You'll see me advertising classes and top tips and things like that on there. And also you can sign up through our website for any future masterclasses. December should be getting released in the next couple of days, and that can be found on shortcuts.co.uk/online-classes. Perfect. So from here, ladies and gents, we are going to jump straight into our live demonstration. And to do so, we are going to open up our Shortcuts Fusion system. Okay. So we're looking at our Shortcuts Fusion system and we are going to pop our pin in. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to ensure our schedules are in. Now, like I said, the majority of you will probably have December schedules in, but you may be wanting to put Jan and Feb's in now, and you may be going through it and doing it day by day. It's very time consuming. We haven't got time for that. We're rushed off our feet with the holiday rush. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Setup on the right-hand side of our navigation bar. And then we're going to click onto Configuration. Now, just before we get involved in putting our schedules in the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to click onto General. We're going to use our arrow and we're going to scroll all the way down till we see this icon here that says Schedule. Now, some of you may have never seen this before. Now, the reason we're going to pop this in, I know some of you watching are multi-site users. That means you've got more than one site. And it may be to cater for that holiday rush, you're dipping in between your other locations and flicking between the two. So what we can do is we can adjust your schedule to sort of show that you're working in the other location, and it's great for your reporting. So in the top right hand corner, we're going to click onto this new icon, and we're going to pop what we call our schedule reason in. Now there's lots of different things you could use. So we've got bank holiday, briefing, college, day off, holiday, maternity, sick, walk-in. Now these are all of the different reasons you may or may not be in the salon. So I'm just going to put other location, or of course, you can put, the name of the other location. So maybe like Brentwood or Essex or Reading, wherever it may be. To the right of this, you've got a color identifier. And then to the right, if you're using the commission structures through shortcuts, you may wish to tick the payable box. And then you can also tick this box to allow bookings. This is most prominent for your online bookings. And if you are a barbershop or using the walk-in manager, you may wish to tick this box here for allow walk-ins. And what it has now done is created as a schedule reason called other location, or whichever it may be. So when we create our schedule, we can input that the same as we do when it's a bank holiday or a normal holiday or a day off. We're going to click done, and we may just have to give a quick restart to our shortcut system there. Okay, so we're now ready to input that schedule. And to do so, we're going to click Tools on the right-hand side of our navigation bar, and we're going to go down to Schedule. Now, in the top left, if you wish to, you can search for an employee. So I'm going to put Amy's schedule in. To the left-hand side, you can see we've got all of the days of the week. We're going to pop the schedule in. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to input a weekly rota. However, if this staff member works a 2 weekly rota, so maybe they have one Saturday on, one Saturday off, simply input the 2-week rota or the 3-week rota. That will act as our template. So I'm going to input a weekly rota, and I'm going to start here on Sunday. Now I know the 26th has just gone, but I'm going to just put a week rota in. So I'm going to click onto this here, and I'm going to input my rota. So on a Sunday, 10 till 5, I'm going to use my schedule reasons in the top right, and I'm just going to change that to day off. And I'm just going to work through and input my schedule. Now on the Tuesday, you'll notice I've now got this option here that stands for other location. That is the schedule reason we literally just set up. We can see that red color identifier just there. And I'm going to work through just popping my schedule in, and we can adjust the times here if necessary. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that weekly rota in. Now I am going to schedule this for quite some time, and I'm going to say for that next year or so, Amy will be working at the other location here. So to save us working through day by day and popping the schedule in day by day and week by week, that's going to take us ages. So each of these squares here are what we call cells, a bit like Microsoft Excel. So they're all cells. So in the top left, you've got this option here that says Mark Cells. So we're going to click onto that, and then we're going to start by inputting our weekly rota. Now we always start from the Sunday in Amy's column just here. And then we're going to go down to Saturday. We can see we've highlighted an entire week from Sunday to Saturday. In the selected area, we're now going to right-click using the right-hand side of our mouse, click Schedule Until, and schedule it as far as you wish to go. So I'm going to do December 2024. We then just need to choose a date for that schedule to finish on. So I'm going to then say, I'm going to input it all the way to the 31st of December 2024. It tells me where I've selected to, and just click yes. And now in the top left, we're just going to unmark those cells just so we don't start copying and pasting everywhere. If we now click and drag down, we can see we've scheduled for an entire year, saving us so much time. So it's so quick and easy. Please bear in mind, if you do this, ladies and gents, make sure if there's any holiday booked for next year as well, make sure you've made a note of that just in case you sort of highlight over the top. And then we can see I've got a setting that allows me to show where the location is, or what that schedule reason is just there. Now, also as well, something very quick I'm just going to highlight to everybody is how to actually change your business hours. Now, if you are opening a little bit later in December and January, whichever it may be, it is always worth adjusting your business hours. Remember, that will pull through to highlight in things like your mobile guest app and your online booking. If it's not really going to be like a permanent change, you may wish to just adjust your staff members' schedules. But if you are wanting to highlight to potential clients through things like the mobile guest app, Google Reserve, and online booking, it is always worth just adjusting your business hours. But please remember to adjust them back afterwards if it's only a seasonal change. So if we go to Setup on the right-hand side, we're going to click onto Configuration. And then in the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to click onto General. And we're going to go to Business towards the top left. And just make sure you adjust your opening hours just here. So maybe you're currently closed on a Sunday, but throughout, the rest of November and December and maybe January, you just want to highlight we're going to be open on the Sunday. So we just select onto it, untick closed if you're currently closed. So just make sure you untick that there and input the from and to, and then just click done. Now, just as I said, you may just have to give it a quick restart, but as I was saying, if that's only going to be like a seasonal change, just remember just to switch that back in Jan, Feb. Excellent. So that's how we can adjust our opening hours and ensure our schedules are inputted for the next year, or maybe just for the holiday rush to ensure we get all of those bookings. Okay, so we're going to take a look at our stock. Okay, now for those of you that are using the stock ordering system through Shortcuts, you may be wishing to have that last minute stock order created. So if you are doing that, it is always worth just ensuring your stock levels are totally accurate. So on the right hand side, we're just going to click onto stock and we're going to go down to products. Now on the left hand side, you'll notice you've got all of your companies. So Jessica, Elamis, Lash Perfect, and so forth. So what we're going to do, we're going to expand the company, such as Jessica. We're going to expand the line, such as treatment. And we're just going to double check the current stock level just there. Now, for the time being, all we're going to do is just quickly run through and just manually adjust them. But I would always recommend doing a stock take through the system. But if you want to just very quickly, you can just manually adjust the stock levels. But it is always worth just doing a stock take through your short system. Now, I'm going to very quickly demonstrate how we do that. But I do have a dedicated video on stock takes and orderings and things like that, just because I've got quite a bit to get through. So what you would do is just go to stock take on the right, click new here, type it in. So let's call it Amy. And then we're going to click next. And then we're going to add those products in. So I've said I'm going to count Amy products. So here we have we've got my company called Amy. Now, if I want to add in all of the products under Amy, I can click my multi-select tab here. Or I can do each individual product or each individual line. I'm just going to add those 3 products in there. And I'm going to click add. And then I'm going to click done. Now, all we're going to do is we're just going to click start. And it says, are you sure you want to activate this stock take? And we're going to click yes. Now, it wants to print out 3 forms. The only form we really need to print out naturally is our stock take form, because that's what we're going to do our stock take on. Now, if you want a bit of a safety net and a bit of an indicator to let you know what the system thinks you already have in stock, we can tick this box here to print your Shortcuts current levels. And that just helps us to identify whether we should continue counting, because otherwise, if we've counted 3, how do we know whether we've got 6 or 7 or 8 in stock? Now, just for the purposes of this class, I'm not going to print anything up, but that's probably how I would have my setup just there. And we're just going to click stock take in the bottom right. Okay, so once we've printed out all of our products, just cancel that down. Once we've printed out all of our stock take form, we would then go to our product levels and perform our count. Now we would do that on our physical sheet of paper that we just printed out. Then from there, we would come back to our shortcut system and input those values. Now, by which time the system would have completely changed. So all you do, just go back to stock take on the right, find the one that's still active, just click next. And now you've got your physical sheet of paper that you just did your stock take on. All you would then need to do is write in the count column how many you counted. And when you're finished, just click stock take in the bottom right hand corner. And it says, are you sure you want to complete this stock take? Committing this stock take will update your shortcut's current levels. And that's exactly what we want to do. So we just click yes. And congratulations, you've successfully completed stock take. Product levels will be updated according to your counts. So we now just click done. And if I go to my products on the right hand side and expand Amy and styling, there's my product levels just there. Now, if you're wanting to use the system to generate an order for you, we've now got our stock levels. We know exactly how many we've got in stock, but we need a way to generate how many we want to keep in stock. Because at the moment, I've only got one. So if we scroll to the right hand side, you'll notice we've got these two columns just here. Maximum level and minimum level. Now, if your maximum and minimum level do not appear for whatever reason, just simply right click at the top until you see all of these categories just here. All you would need to do is go down to levels, go to the right and just tick maximum and minimum level. And at the same time, if you wish to condense your column down, you can do so by removing certain products as well. So we've got our maximum and we've got our minimum level. So what do these mean? Well, these work in unison with each other. My maximum column is the number of products I aim to have on the shelf as soon as I've received an order. That is my maximum amount of products. But then I've got my minimum level. So what does my minimum level show me? Well, my minimum level is basically my catalyst. It's my springboard. So as soon as my current stock level drops below my minimum level, it will generate an order to bring my current back up to my maximum. So my current level has dropped below my minimum. So it would now generate an order of 5 products because 1 plus 5 would give me 6. And exactly the same here. This product has dropped below my minimum. So it would generate an order of 5 products again. 1 plus 5 would give me those 6. So it's an automated way to generate an order based on your maximum and minimum levels. So from here, we would just need to ensure we've got our maximum and minimum levels configured, and of course, as well as our current stock levels. We can now generate an order. So to the right, we can click ordering. And at the top, we can go to our suppliers, wherever we buy our products from. So I'm not actually sure where we buy my Amy products from. Let's have a very quick look. Oh, Amy's stock, perfect. When we click onto new, you can see our product has now appeared, the products that we require based on our maximum and minimum levels. We can now click on to order down the bottom, and we can generate that order through shortcuts. Do you wish to proceed with this order? We can click on to yes. Now, if you've got an email associated, you can email the order, or you can click no to print the order and take it to your rep if applicable, or take it to your local wholesalers. Now, what we're going to do once the order has been received, all we need to do is a couple days down the line is simply click onto it and click receive. Ensure that what we physically received is here. So if you didn't receive 5, maybe you received 4, just ensure you change that to 4 or 3 or whatever it was that you received. And then just click receive down the bottom of the screen here. And it says, are you sure you haven't entered an invoice for this order? If you do want to enter an invoice number, you can do so in the top right. If not, just simply click on to no. And we can see the order has been received successfully. Now, if there are any barcodes you want to print those out, you can do those. I'm not sure if any of you are using barcode printers or anything like that at all, so we can just click on to no. Excellent stuff. So what we're going to look at now is bundling. Now, bundling is a great way to bundle products together if you're tailor making hampers or your own gift sets. So if we were to think, if you were to put a shampoo and a conditioner and a styling product into your hamper, when you sell that hamper, those products are going to be reduced off of your stock levels. So unless you've already manually adjusted the stock levels to cater for them being in your hamper or your gift set, you just need to ensure you bundle the products together. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what we're going to first look at is the products. So to bundle your products, you need to ensure the individual products that you're going to bundle, such as your shampoo, your conditioner, your styling product, please ensure they are created on your system. And I'm going to use my styling products here. So I've got my hairspray, my shampoo, and my conditioner. And I've currently got one in stock of all of them. But what I'm actually going to do is bundle all of these products, one of each, into a hamper. So once I've created that hamper, naturally, all of those products are currently sort of out of stock because they're all going to be in my hamper. But unless I manually adjust my stock levels here, it's going to say I've got one in stock here, but also it's going to be one in stock in my hamper. And it's going to throw your stock levels completely out. So what we're going to do is ensure we've got our individual products here. And then we're going to create the hamper or the gift set. So down here, I've created Shortcuts hampers. Now to do this, all you need to do is click Business and then click New. And you can type in the name of your hamper. Now, once you've got the name here, such as Shortcuts hampers, we need to add in our line of products. And you do this by clicking onto your hamper or your company and clicking New. So I can now add in a new line and I can call it New Year Hamper, Platinum Gift Set or something like that. Once I've got my line, I can add in the name of my specific hamper. So I'm just going to call it Party Box Set. Okay, and we just add that in there. To the right of this, you can add in the sell price. So I'm going to call this £50, and that's going to include my hairspray, my shampoo, and my conditioner. Okay, one of each of those. And you'll notice my stock level for this is currently set to 0 because I've not bundled and created it. So remember, we're going to pop one of this hairspray, one of this shampoo, and one of this conditioner, and I'm going to bundle it into my party box set. So to do this, on the right hand side, what we're going to do is click on to bundle. At the top, we're going to select the products to be bundled. These are the individual products, such as the shampoo, the conditioner, and the styling product. So we're going to click the plus sign here. I'm going to go down to the individual products. Now remember, this was going to be my Amy products. So I'm going to add in my hairspray, my shampoo, and my conditioner using my multi-select tabs. And I'm going to click Add. I'm now going to click Done just here. And that is going to say I'm going to bundle a hairspray, a shampoo, and a conditioner. So what am I going to bundle it into? Well, I'm going to bundle it into that New Year party gift box. So select the product to bundle into. So we now click the plus sign. And we go down to my Shortcuts hampers. Here's my New Year hamper. And I'm going to select my party box set because that's what I'm going to put those 3 products into. I'm going to click Add. And I'm now going to bundle just down here. You see all the products have been removed. Now when we click Done, go back to our products. If we expand the Amy styling products, you'll now see my stock levels have all changed to 0 because I've taken each one of them and bundled into my New Year hamper. And I've now got one in stock there. So it tells me I've got one of my party box, and it now knows that those 3 products are in that box set there. So it's a fantastic way if you are tailor making any hampers or any box sets yourself to ensure your stock levels are absolutely bang on. And then it's just a case of selling it as normal at the point of sale screen. And that is how we can bundle our products to create tailor-made gift sets. Now, moving forward, hopefully, you won't have many no-shows or anything like that on the lead up to Christmas. But if you do, you may wish to implement something called an account payment. Now, this is also fantastic if you've got somebody that wishes to come in and future pay for their service. So maybe a mum or a dad rings up and says, my son or my daughter's coming in next week. Can I pay for their service ahead of time? Now, what some people do is they then run the service through like today, and then when it comes to the day they're actually booked in, they don't have to pay anything, which technically works fine. But as you can imagine, the history of the client is completely thrown out because it will say they paid today when really they came in 2 weeks' time. And it could, of course, affect commission if the commission is paid weekly or monthly or something like that. So it's much easiest to do an account payment. And this is also a great way to do a deposit if they want to ring up or pay over the phone. So an account payment, please remember, ladies and gents, can only be assigned to a client. So I'm going to say a mum or a dad has rang up and they want to pay for their son or their daughter's service in a couple of weeks' time, in time for the Christmas party. But you can also do exactly the same if it's going to be a deposit. So we're going to click onto main and we're going to click onto point of sale. Now remember, we have to assign it to a client. So I'm going to choose new sale in the top left-hand corner. And I'm going to search for that client. So I'm going to say, I've got my girlfriend, Stacey, she's coming in next week and I want to pay for her service. It's a little bit of a treat, okay? So I'm going to select that client, whichever one it may be. I'm going to select onto the client and then we're just going to click next. Okay, we're now going to choose any one of the empty grey squares in front of us. It doesn't matter who you choose, but I would recommend you put the money under business because the money is going to the business first and foremost. And then we're going to choose the account payment. Now, if you've got to this stage and you do not have the account payment icon visible, it is most likely because you did not select the client in the top left-hand corner. So we're going to put money on the client's account. This could be as a manual deposit, or it could be, as we said, they're coming in a couple of weeks' time for their appointment. I'm going to add £50 onto the account, and we're just going to take the payment as normal. Naturally, if this is used over the phone, you would use the card payment, but just take the payment as normal. And then we click Finish Sale. So the client now has £50 on their account. There is no expiration for this. If we go to the client, we can see they are now £50 in credit. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to say Stacey wishes to redeem her money. So she's come in 2 weeks' time and she says, oh, my boyfriend very kindly rang up and paid for my service now. So I'm going to very quickly just book Stacey in for a service. So we've got Stacey and she's booked in with Amelia for a ladies cut and finish. Now at the top here at the point of sale screen, we can see Stacey has £50 on her account. So we now need to redeem that £50, okay? So in the bottom right, remember we've got our payment types. But for the time being, she's not going to pay by card. She's not going to pay by cash because she wants to redeem her deposit, so to speak. So what we're going to do in the bottom right-hand corner, we're just going to click onto the other payment type. And then we're going to choose account. From here, you can type in however much money they wish to redeem. So I'm going to redeem my £15 here for the service. We just click done, and then we click finish sale. Now, if there was more left to be paid, you would just simply take the bill as normal from there moving forward. Now, when we go to our clients, and if we search for Stacey again, we can see the money has now changed. So she's still got £35 left on her account. So this is a fantastic way if a client wants to ring up and say, you know, my son or my daughter's in next week, or my girlfriend or my boyfriend's in, that's the best way to do it. You don't need to run the service through or anything like that. As we said, that can affect the history and everything like that. So it's always best to put the money on the client's account. And also, what can happen is, let's say the boyfriend rings up and says, my girlfriend's booked in next week for a cut and blow dry, and you pay for a cut and blow dry. You run it through that day, which, like I said, I wouldn't recommend you do. The girlfriend comes in, ends up having something completely different. You've already checked out the history, then shows she's had a route in, and it just makes things a little bit more awkward. So always put that money on the account if you're doing a manual deposit or anything like that. So how do we know then if we're thinking, well, that's great, I get a lot of people ringing up and that's a fantastic tip to have, but I also want to implement manual deposits, which, as we saw, we can use that as an account payment, but I'm also looking at implementing automated deposits, maybe through the mobile guest app or maybe through the online booking. But I really want a sort of solid foundation of a way to find out how many no-shows I get, just to really see what it is costing me as a business. Now, naturally, as a business owner, we will have a pretty good idea of the amount of no-shows we've got, but maybe you want a bit more of a solid foundation. Or maybe you just want to look in January or February and just see how many no-shows you did get and think, I may implement it moving forward. Well, what I would always recommend we do on the right-hand side is go to Tools and Reports. And on the far left-hand side, we would expand Appointments. We've got this report just here for no-show statistics, okay? And we're going to click View down the bottom. Now, you've got some default date ranges to the left here, but you can also input your own custom date range as well. And I'm just going to do for the current month because we're leaning towards the end of November. So I'm just going to click onto current month and then just click View. I'm just going to zoom in just ever slightly in the top left. So this will show me all of my no-shows. Now, this is a fantastic report to be looking at because it gives us a lot of information. And it's also going to show us a couple of things that we didn't know may or maybe weren't happening. So the first thing we can see for November 2023, percentage of contacted clients who did not no-show. So contacted clients, those are our clients that received an SMS reminder. Percentage of non-contacted clients who did not show. So we can see if they did not get that reminder, we can see 37.5% of my clients for the whole of November, the ones that were not contacted, they didn't no-show. So that straight away tells me those SMS reminders are working. We need to ensure they're being sent out. Then to the right, we've got bookings marked as a no-show. A bookings marked as a no-show is when we right-click and click the no-show option. But we've also got total no-shows, including non-arrivals. Now, what does that mean? Now, a lot of us have done it. You know, we forget to arrive the client, okay? That will show us when we are not arriving that client. You know, right-click and arriving. That shows us total no-shows, including non-arrivals. People that just didn't turn up. We didn't cancel them. We didn't no-show them. We just left them in the diary. Then to the right of that, we've got the all-important bit, the value of no-shows, £89 and 10 pence. So I had 16 bookings in November. Percentage of no-shows no-shows percentage of total bookings. So out of my 16 bookings, as a percentage, 37.5% of all of my bookings were no-shows, which is getting dangerously close to 50%, isn't it? Now, no-shows as a percentage of total value. So out of all of the money that was booked in the way of appointments, 37% of the value was made up in no-shows. So a lot of the value I had booked in were all no-shows. So straight away, that's telling me my £89 and 10 pence was 37% of the total value I was due to take. So that tells me straight away we're looking at something like a 20 to 50% deposit we need to be taking. Like I said, you can use the account payment we looked at just a few moments ago. You can also scroll down to the bottom here and we can see those repeat offenders. Okay, so we can see those there. Maybe we need to be putting the alerts on the client, especially on the lead up to Christmas, to say, look, we need to be taking that account payment over the phone if this client tries to ring up and make an appointment. So what about then if we want to do a more automated deposit? Because we've explored the options of taking it over the phone or face-to-face using our account payment there, as we did with Stacey just there. But we want something a little bit more concrete through our mobile guest app and our online booking. Now, that is what we call our upfront payments, and all you require for this is a Stripe account. Now, for those of you watching, we have wiped the setup fee. It's usually about £130. All you need is a Stripe account. We do also have a special offer to do with Stripe. There are certain terms and conditions for that, but please do let me know at the end if you are interested in getting a Stripe account set up to take your upfront payments. And you may also wish to do electronic gift cards, which we'll be looking at in just a sec. Excellent stuff. So we're going to look at how to set up upfront payments. Now, I'm going to be very quick in showing the setup. The reason being, ladies and gents, is if you do decide to take upfront payments with us, so automatic deposits, we will always go through it one-to-one with you. So please don't worry. This is more of a demonstration on how it works. We will always run through and set it up with you. So all you require is a Stripe account. So all you need to do is go into your online console. And that can be found at console.shortcutsoftware.com. And all you need to do is go into Site Settings on the left-hand side. All you would need to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom. And just ensure just above you input your ID. That's once you've set up your Stripe account. We can always assist you in doing so, but just ensure you've always inputted details there. There is usually a blue button that says Connect to Stripe, which you can do through there if you wish to. If you've not already set one up, we can run through and potentially assist you with setting that up. But all you need to do is connect your Stripe account just there. Or you can also do so by going into online booking settings in the center of the screen as well. And on the right-hand side, you will have an option that says upfront payment settings. Now, please do not worry if you look at that now and you do not see on the right-hand side upfront payment settings. We have to do some work in the background for that to appear. But like we said, for those of you watching, we have waived the setup fee. Okay, so it's usually about £130 for us to configure it. But we know on the lead up to Christmas, you're probably going to be interested in this. So if you do not have the upfront payment settings on the right-hand side, please drop me an email at the end. We can go ahead and get you set up with that. So to set up your upfront payments, all we do, click onto the right-hand side. You can also click Edit General Settings in the top right and connect your Stripe account just there as well if you need to. And always ensure you've got your upfront payment policy text configured as well. Then underneath, you will have your rules. Now, your rules are basically the terms and conditions of your upfront payments. So we click Add New Rule to the right-hand side. And you can pop in the rule name. So I'm just going to say it's a 10% Christmas deposit. Then underneath, you can see it's very configurable. You can configure how many days in advance. So if I was to input 1 day in advance, that would mean if there was an appointment I was trying to make tomorrow for midday or in a week's time, that would be when my deposit is applicable because it's 1 day in advance. I've then got my booking deposit. So I'm going to say that's going to be 10%. So it's fully configurable. But underneath, I've also got my minimum booking deposit. So what does this mean? So essentially, I've said I'm going to do a 10% deposit. Now, it might be one of your services costs £10. So that 10% deposit of that £10 is only going to be £1, which isn't really going to, make a great deal of difference to us if a client does no-show. So what we can do, we can put that minimum booking deposit in, and that's a monetary value. So that would then be, with the minimum we're going to take as a deposit is £10, which essentially overrides your deposit. So then if it was going to be something like a £15 service and the 10% of that was going to be £1.50, your minimum booking deposit will override that. And again, if the service was going to be £90 and 10% of that was going to be £9, again, your minimum booking deposit will be taken because that's the £10 there. And then all we do is we just click applies to online booking, which will cater for your online booking and your app. And then we just click OK. And I've got lots of rules here, but you should probably only have the one when you set this up. And then we can see the booking is for which employee. So you can then configure straight away which employee is it going to be for. By default, it will be for any employee. And you can also do it for any service. So booking is for any service, and you can configure that if you need to as well. So you've got full control over how your deposits will work. And it's nice and simple. So you can see within a matter of minutes there, once we've got our Stripe account set up, we can set up a rule for our upfront payments that will work through online booking and our mobile guest app. And it's a guaranteed way to reduce no-shows because clients are more likely to turn up for their service if, of course, they've already paid for it. So we can see how that looks. So all we're going to do is just make a very quick booking. So as soon as we get to proceed to checkout, it will tell me, oh, I didn't link it to that particular color, but you can then see, how much is due to be paid. So we can see pay now the X amount of deposit. And it's a guaranteed way. And you can see without paying that deposit, if it was applicable, you can't click the book now button. So it's a guaranteed way to increase your revenue there. And that is our upfront payments. Now, once you've got that Stripe account set up, I would very much recommend utilizing it for electronic gift cards. Now, you don't have to have physical gift cards, but at the very least, you will have to have a gift card program set up with us. So it may be for the time being, you're creating your own gift certificates, which is perfectly fine. You create your own physical gift certificates. That's perfectly fine to do so. But if you do want to utilize electronic gift cards, you don't have to have physical gift cards purchased through Shortcuts, but you will have to have a program created with us, which is not a problem. We can create that for you. Just make sure you let us know. If you already have physical gift cards purchased through Shortcuts, those are ones that are not created by yourself. You purchased them through Shortcuts. Your program is already created and you can proceed straight away with electronic gift cards as long as you have a Stripe account. Okay, Stripe account is a payment provider. They handle the money for you. So why would we then have electronic gift cards? Well, electronic gift cards are a fantastic way to increase revenue. It's also a fantastic way to boost sales in the post-holiday slump because people will often get them for Christmas and then use them in January. And it's also a great way to increase the average spend of a client because that gift card is essentially like free money. For example, a perfect example, it was my birthday last week. Last night I went shopping and I purchased a brand new coat. I spent a lot more on the coat than I would have done because I had a £30 gift card. So I still kind of spent this quite a bit of money myself, but I was able to get a more expensive coat than I probably would have done before because that money is essentially free money. So if you've already got a gift card program set up with us because you're using physical gift cards, but like I said, if you're not using Shortcuts physical gift cards, we can create the program for you. So in your online console, all you would need to do is click Programs in the bottom right-hand corner. In the top left, choose Administration, Program, and then if you're using Loyalty as well, you can also choose from the program just here, okay, where it says Gift Cards. Now, as I said, as you're trying to do this now and you find you do not have it, that is just because we need to create that gift card program for you. Just let us know at the end and we can do that for you. So to go straight to electronic gift cards, all you need to do is scroll right down to the bottom and click Edit. And you can just scroll a little bit further up and just go straight to the digital gift card setup. Now, if you wish to, it's probably a good idea to just double check the expiration date or grace period and anything like that. But this should all be a fairly default setting. So for your electronic gift cards, we just need to ensure the tick box is here where it says allow customers to purchase gift cards. Now we've got the website sales liability. This is where the money for that gift card is going to be held against. Multi-site, if you're a multi-site user, you can choose to customize your widget. We'll talk about widgets in just a sec for multiple locations. Or you can do multi-site with filter, which is where you have to enter a specific site name. So maybe you want it to be held at the Birmingham location. Or you've also got the specific site. So choose this option if you're a single location or you want your liabilities to be held at a specific site. So then underneath, we've got the widget app and label text. Now, widget are those little buttons you get on people's websites, and they typically say like buy a gift card or book. Now, it's a little button that appears over the left or the right-hand side. Now, on the lead up to Christmas, if you want to do a percentage increase offer, you can set this up here. So you can see applicable to sales over £40, and I get a value increase of 25%. So we can see that just there. When a gift card is purchased for £40, the recipient is provided with £50. We can then choose our widget placement, left, right, top, or bottom. Now remember that widget is the little button, usually on the left or the right-hand side. Please ensure your terms and conditions are outlined here. And you've then got your website widget code and your widget launcher code. Now, the website widget code is if you haven't already got a buy a gift card button created or anything like that. And the widget launcher code is the code that will take you to purchase a gift card. So all you need is the script. So once we click save, we can save those options. And you can see we've got the two scripts just here. So all you would need to do is copy both widget codes and both launcher codes here and provide them to your web designer or your web developer. They can then use it to create a buy a gift card button, and that can either be left, right, top, or bottom. Now, as long as you've got a Stripe account set up, that is how we can create electronic gift cards. As we said, it's a fantastic way to boost revenue and fantastic for those last minute gifts. So we've implemented deposits, we've implemented electronic gift cards. So we need a way to scream and shout about it, and we should be using our cloud or our Marketing Plus to do so. So we've now implemented those upfront payments. We've now implemented those electronic gift cards. We're now going to tell everybody we've got them. So we do this through the Cloud Appointment Book, or if you're a Marketing Plus user, you can use Marketing Plus. I did have a quick look. I feel pretty much everybody that's watching this morning is a cloud-based user. Okay, so we're going to open up our Cloud Appointment Book, and we can get to this by typing in the web address pos.shortcutsoftware.com. This is often referred to as the app you have on your phone to make appointments. So it's pos.shortcutsoftware.com. And the first thing we are going to do is we're going to scream and shout about those deposits just to let everybody know. Or maybe 1 or 2 weeks before Christmas, you want to let everybody know you've got electronic gift cards, perfect for those last minute shoppers. So through the Cloud Appointment Book, we're going to click Messages at the top of our screen. And on the left-hand side, we're going to go straight to Message All Clients because we want to let everybody know about these electronic gift cards or our deposits or anything like that. So we're going to click on to Message All Clients. You can type the campaign name at the top there. So it could be, buy a gift card or look out for our electronic gift cards. Or you can click the new button down the bottom here and just type that name in. I'm just going to say e-gift cards now available at Shortcuts. You can adjust the gender if applicable. And you can pop the send time, such as 9 AM, 9:30 or 10 AM and so forth. And you can also adjust the send date. So you can be nice and proactive. Now underneath, you've got your two platforms to send this out by. We've got email and we've got SMS. So on email, we can tick the display logo. The logo will pull through automatically from site settings of your online console. And you can also upload a display image. Now this is a nice image that will kind of, make your campaign look a little bit more attractive. You can pop that subject in there, so it could be, and pop the body in there. Now, with a body, you may wish to make it look that little bit more personalized. So you might want it to say, hi Chris, or hi Gary, or hi Jay, or whichever it may be. So rather than having to type naturally every client's name out, which would be impossible to do, we can input what we call a personalized field. So to the right of this, you can see we've got an option that says insert field. If we click onto this, we can choose customer first name. And exactly the same for our subject. We can click onto the personalized field and choose a business name. That just saves us typing out the name of your business. We can also add any offers that are applicable down the bottom, but I'm just going to remove this because I want to advertise my electronic gift cards. You can keep the book now button if applicable and the self-check-in button as well. And then we've got our preview and send test, and then we can activate. So it's a very quick way there to just advertise our electronic gift cards and let all of our clients know that those gift cards are now available, or let them know that deposit schemes are now being taken. So just as we draw to a close, I have something just very quick that I want to show everybody. It's kind of a brand new feature we have. We know how frustrating it is, especially on the lead up to Christmas, when clients book those 4 head of highlights right at the end of the day. It doesn't have enough development time. It doesn't have time for a book back service, especially on the lead up to Christmas. We want to ensure if those clients are having those half head of highlights, we want to ensure they're going to have a book back service, such as a cut and or blow dry. So we've introduced a fantastic feature called related and recommended services. Okay. Now it's usually about £15 a month, and the return on investment for this is incredible, and it takes a matter of minutes to set up. So if you're struggling with those clients booking right at the end of the day, or they're not choosing that book back service, we have got the perfect solution. Okay. And it's very quick and very easy to set up. And it's all done through the cloud. It's called related and recommended services. So I'm going to demonstrate how we can do this. So we're going to go to menu. And on the left-hand side, we're going to choose products and services. Now, again, if you do not have this visible, that's because you're not subscribed to it just yet. But fear not, at the end, we can ensure we get you set up. Notice it's usually about £15 a month, but the return on investment for that will be incredible. So I'm going to click on to related services. So you can see here, I've created one that says required when making a color booking. And I choose my relationship as require another service. Then underneath, I just simply select my primary services. These are the services that are going to be booked first. So you can see I've added in my color services, such as fashion, full header highlights, and half header highlights. These are the services that are going to be booked first. But these require another service to be added on automatically. So now we just choose from my requires at least one of. And you can see I've added in my styling products, my styling services, sorry. So that now tells me it requires at least one of these styling services. So straight away, it eliminates that when a client books at the end of the day, there's no development time and they don't have that book back service. We're automatically increasing the revenue because they're going to be essentially required to book that Brazilian blow dry or that child's cut or that express blow dry, whichever it may be. Now, only has to be one of them. But what I've also done, which you'll get in a package, you'll get recommended services. So that won't fuse the two services together. It's a way to organically upsell potentially another service or a treatment. We've all been there. We've purchased maybe something online and then it says, have you thought about this, or often purchased with that jacket, this necklace or the handbag, whatever it is. And it's about giving that extra level of service, but on the flip side, organically upselling. So you can see I've created recommend a treatment. So I'm going to recommend a treatment every time a cut or a blow dry is booked. So again, you can see I've got my primary services. Oh, sorry, I linked it to my color. So every time a color is booked. And I'm then going to say I'm going to recommend one of my Olaplex hair treatments or my intense treatment. So how does this look? So you can see it takes 2 to 3 minutes to get set up. We will always run through this with you. So then how does this look when we make an appointment? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make an appointment. And we're going to select a service. Now you'll notice as I select a full head of highlights, it tells me straight away it requires an additional service. So we can just add that on just there. Now to the right, you can see clients are not able to remove that blow dry because it was required, and we get a little information icon just there. So you can see straight away it's now added on that extra blow dry. So it's going to ensure the timings are perfectly correct, and we're going to ensure we don't have that client booking right at the end of the day. Now when I click next, it tells me often booked with a full head of highlights, an Olaplex treatment. So I can say, yep, hair's feeling a little bit dry on the lead up to Christmas. I want to feel glam for my Christmas party. We can add that on there. Now, straight away, you'll notice, your highlights and your blow dries probably don't cost £10, but I've added on an Olaplex treatment, which has practically doubled my service bill. So I've already increased my service bill by 100% in this example. Clients would then just continue making the appointment as normal. So we can see, we said it's roughly a £15 subscription fee, and you can see the related and recommended services has added on £10 there, plus it's also added on that Olaplex treatment. It is already with just one client paid for that subscription fee. Now we did have a salon, I think in 1 month it increased their average by just under £3,000, okay? Now imagine that on the lead up to Christmas. That's a fantastic Christmas party or a present for your spouse. So that is it, getting ready for Christmas. So hopefully now we all feel that a little bit more confident on the lead up to Christmas and a holiday rush to get yourselves ready for Christmas. Thank you ever so much for watching me this morning, ladies and gents. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop those across to me now. Perfect, lovely. Thank you very much. Okay, perfect. So I think that's it for all of the questions. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. All that's left for me to say is have a very Merry Christmas, and I shall speak to you all again soon. Thank you ever so much. Take care. Bye-bye for now.